But when will he learn? Let's begin. Now, of course, I don't know if it's just me, but it often seems like quite a lot of lefties out there all tend to try and outdo themselves to be ultra politically correct, to try not to offend anyone on Twitter and things like that. Although, to be honest, it has just bitten Keir Starmer in the bum once again, it seems, because according to this article, he still doesn't know what a woman is. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Rishi and other people out there can just come out and say, well, obviously it's an adult female, but Keir Starmer just seems to lack that part of intelligence, doesn't he? Well, in my opinion anyway, and the article says that Keir Starmer is unable to define a woman again, as he insists trans debate must be treated with respect. And no one is doubting that is what these guys want to be seen as, but at the end of the day, if you're born with a penis, then you're a bloke, sorry. Until you have the balls, that is, to have them cut off, eh? But anyway, what's this all about, and why does he find it so hard to answer? Well, last year, apparently, he said that 99.9% of women haven't got a penis, which kind of means that quite a lot of them have. Surely if that statement has got anything to go by, but the Labour boss, it says, has been trying to clarify his views on gender since 2021, when he struggled to say whether or not a woman could have a penis. And I don't know about you, but obviously we're in 2024 now, aren't we? So it still seems he's having trouble with this. I mean, if you'd have said to me when I was about 15 or 20 that our politicians in 20-25 years would somehow struggle to say if a woman had a penis, I thought you'd have been taking the mickey, but unfortunately not, because it even says here that reading out questions of Sun readers, political editor Harry Cole asked the Labour chief if he still believed that men can have cervixes and women can have testicles. And make an appearance on the Sun's new Never Mind the Ballots politics show, Sir Keir replied, well, the whole issue has to be treated with respect. Respect and dignity. Well, no one is doubting that, Keir, but, how hard is it just to answer a question? But anyway, and the Labour Party has fought for women's rights all its life and will continue to do so. And pressed on his U-turn on gender reform, the Labour leader pointed out to what happened in Scotland before adding, in the real world outside of politics, when circumstances change, people adapt their position. And asked again about his position on trans women and whether they can be defined as women, Sir Keir said, we set out our position very clearly. Well, actually, Keir, it doesn't sound like you have done. Well, unless you're sticking by that 99.9% statement anyway. He added, though, that everybody knows there is a difference between sex and gender. I absolutely understand and respect that, and we will not be going down that road of self-identification. He went on, though, and said, as you well know, the overwhelming majority of women, it's a biological issue. Well, yeah, if you're born with a penis, you're a bloke. If you're born with a fanny, then you're a woman, aren't you? And for all my American viewers, fanny is not what we call a bum like what you do. We call a fanny lady garden, shall we say. But anyway, this whole thing is going way over the top nowadays. It's even getting to the point where schools are teaching our children wrong, just so they don't offend anyone and things like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. My girlfriend's boy, James, he's 11, obviously goes to school, and according to him, his teacher told him that there are not two genders, there are actually three. Male, female, and the one you want to be. But of course, don't worry, because I actually corrected him as soon as he told me about it, and hopefully the school will stop teaching our children absolute crap. But then again, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? And I know there will be some people out there who are saying, well, what's the big deal? If a guy dresses as a woman and wants to be known as a woman, then what's the problem? Well, the thing is, it is a very slippery slope, and unfortunately, not everyone out there is a nice person. So if you have a woman who might be the 0.1 Keir Starmer is talking about that have a giant set of gonads, and they enter a woman's changing room and unfortunately aren't exactly a nice person and want to do horrible things to people, then that could unfortunately lead to a lot of crimes happening which could have been prevented had she not been allowed to go in there in the first place. I will never see a reason why women's safety should be affected for political correctness or because someone is offended. It's just an absolute mistake and a joke, isn't it? And as soon as these politicians realise that women's safety could be put at risk because of their stupid decisions on how men are classified as, the better in my opinion, especially as well with sporting events. I mean, I'm sure we could all agree that in most cases, us men are bigger and stronger than women, so to be put into a race or a cycling competition or any sporting competition with a woman in that case is really unfair, especially when they try to classify themselves as women and win an event because of that and get a trophy. And how ridiculous is that? And we could have first, second and third place as men and all the rest women in a women's competition. This is absolutely bonkers, isn't it? So hopefully all this woke nightmare will soon be over. And Keir Starmer really needs to learn that, because If he doesn't and he unfortunately wins the election, we could all be in for quite a worrying time in the future, couldn't we?